What are you
And I
afraid
think-
of losing?
What am I afraid of losing?
If I know that the worst thing is death and I'm not afraid of death,
I would actually argue that you dying is probably not the worst thing.
it's almost rationalizing the unknown and having, faith within life.
Take away success, you probably still have a family.
Not to be all doom and gloom, but I know a few people without houses and their family is very broken because of their choices.
You are quite dense, I agree.
Good luck to my ancestors.
Hope they're well.
Hope they're well.
Great little caviar.
Very good caviar.
Welcome back to this episode of Scott's podcast. It's been a while. It's been a hot minute.
Has been a hot minute.
And speaking of hot minutes,
It's very warm. As you can tell, Nick's attire today. He's ready for the beach.
yeah, I'm ready for the beach, and it's a nice day out.
It is a nice day out.
Although, will I go outdoors? Probably not.
Probably. We don't do that on this podcast.
No,
No.
it's very
That's way too much balance.
way too much balance, and
We don't believe in balance. I know you too well. We're gonna just be the same two people repeating each other's
sentences.
correct.
The neighbours.
Not even the neighbours. The
My
family.
mum is listening up there.
Family are gonna kill you.
Oh gosh. All right. Well, this episode, we can start off with a few seggies. So I'm gonna get the Notion page up because I did them the other week in anticipation. Although, guess what?
What?
I forgot them.
You forgot what?
The segments.
Oh.
So I have to get them up. And considering that I set up the podcast for about 2 hours and 17 minutes just then, I have to go find them now. Great Notion page.
We should give a special shout out to Nick today. He's we don't have Alfio or Charlie. So Nick has taken the lead and done it all himself.
That's
While
what I
sat
thought.
here and looked pretty.
W's in the shot. W's in the shot.
Why does it repeat it?
Yeah, it's a bit grim.
Is it?
Grim. Okay. Overthinking it. I think we haven't done overthinking it. Let me even get one up for overthinking it. Speaking of overthinking it, why am I thinking that people care about the soundboard? Let's get. Let's see overthinking it one.
Can't put the music. Do the ones where you can say something, but that's gonna wake people up. It's so bad.
Yeah.
You can't have the music one.
Okay. Yeah. Cool. All right.
Not that you care.
Not that I care.
Yeah.
It's my podcast at the end of the day. Go on.
He set 753 cameras up and 7 mics.
We better get something out of this.
Exactly. Oh, all right. What have we got? So we've got.
What are you afraid of losing when nothing in the world actually belongs to you? Marcus Aurelius.
Wow, that went deep so quickly.
What do you mean by that?
What was the question?
What are you afraid of losing when nothing in the world actually belongs to you?
The things that you value.
But why does it matter? If it actually doesn't. If it actually doesn't matter. Like,
What? So your family.
well, not to get ancient Egyptian on you, but like, you know how,
Was Marcus Aurelius ancient?
no, but like, you know how like they believed the afterlife and things like that.
Okay.
You take it with you into the afterlife.
Yes.
Like, how relevant is that to overall life satisfaction?
It probably takes away some of the uncertainty.
It gives you a sense of hope, is it?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, there must,
Helps you rationalize certain things too.
yeah. There must be a level of like sanctity that you get from believing. Like, that's what I've spoken to you as religion as being just a net
Yeah.
positive. It's like there is a reason for the unreasonable.
Yeah.
And in ancient Egypt and all them, big ups up their well, friends of the pod, in all of those locations and whatnot, for them, it's almost rationalizing the unknown and having, faith within life.
Yes.
But nothing belongs to you.
Yes. And is that what do you perceive that message as?
Very non-altruistic. Some of my favorite work.
Yeah, I don't think. But then, if nothing has meaning, or if nothing belongs to you, so nothing has meaning, then what's the point?
It's an it's a very inhumane, inconsistent narrative that if I believe it in some areas of my life, then I really can't believe it in all areas of my life because I'd be hypocritical.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, but I do agree with it in terms of I would love to believe that
The
way.
principle is quite nice,
Yeah,
but how do you show? I think certain things in life, like family, your friends, you actually need to show care towards and show. And if you think that, oh well, nothing really means anything, how do you believe that but lives in a different way?
yeah, and
Maybe material things it applies to well.
material things it does apply to best.
And I would say success as well.
But the arguable thing is that a certain level of success can build those things that are unquantifiable as well, outside of materialism. Because if
build certain things, what, like family?
yeah,
I agree, but take away success, you probably still have a family.
not to be all doom and gloom, but I know a few people without houses and their family is very broken because of their choices.
Okay. When I say not success, I don't mean
Yes.
make really bad life decisions
Yeah.
that mean that, your family, you don't have a family.
Yeah.
But I don't think success as a means exclusively, contributes to that. And definitely with this sort of like quote, don't you agree?
I mean, I would say,
If we are just relating to that quote, I don't think success has anything to do with family.
yeah. Oh, you don't think success has anything to do with family or how it can influence family?
How it can influence family. Because family is something inherent that you'll have regardless.
What are you
And I
afraid
think-
of losing?
What am I afraid of losing? Yeah, family.
Okay. I've got an interesting point on this, which was one of my.
If you do say so yourself. We need to make a sound for like arrogant comments. Oh. Still not appropriate.
No?
It should be like canned clapping. You know, canned laughter, canned clapping.
Wait, that's in here.
Is it? No, that's canned laughter. It should be canned clapping for when you make a self-proclaimed amazing comment. Don't get distracted,
Yeah.
TikTok kid. Come on.
The button delete. I have to blow my face.
You're gonna have to cut that as well.
Big cut there.
You don't want the baby. You don't want the baby voice making it out.
Not into these.
Okay,
streets.
we digest.
Let me digest. What are you afraid of losing? I have a very non-altruistic perspective on this, and what?
No, nothing. Unlike you.
Okay, I'll keep going.
Yeah.
Non-altruistic perspective on, like, if the worst thing there is in the world is to die, then what am I actually afraid of?
Hmm. Why are you not scared of death?
Why am I not scared of death?
Are you not scared of death?
No.
Well, I would actually argue that you dying is probably not the worst thing in life. No. I didn't mean you in particular. I meant you yourself. Stop with the soundboard. That did come across really badly.
No, that's crazy.
You yourself dying, I don't think is.
Like my perspective on death. Are you saying?
No, I'm saying the people close to you is worse
Oh, okay.
than you yourself
That's a
dying.
very selfless thing. Thank you for believing that. That's what I think.
Oh, do you not?
No, I'm kidding.
That's what I believe.
Yeah. I would agree with you there.
Yeah.
And I would also, like, my point with that is if I'm not afraid of death because I believe that this is just, the precursor to the rest of your life, then I kind of act in a way that I'm less scared of doing things or making big decisions. Because if I know that the worst thing is death and I'm not afraid of death,
Yeah.
then I kind of live in a different world than most people, because most people are out there to survive. As am I. I'm very much a self-preservationist. But also, if I do try and help myself by thinking, and it's not like it's natural for me. It's not like it's natural for me to think these things. But if I do think about it in a deep way as well,
Yes.
and I'm like, well, what is the worst thing that happens to you? I die.
Yeah.
But guess what? I'm not afraid of death.
So how does that change the way you live?
I'll give you an example when I was in Germany. where I'm kind of like contemplating the streets or not.
Okay.
And I'm like, okay, it's probably really unlikely that I'm going to die just by sleeping at night in the streets. It's a rough area, but it's not, the most dangerous thing. I'm not that scared of death. If the worst thing that happens is I die, then I may as well give it a go. I didn't give it a go, but in that framework, and that was for many things, it's also like life decisions. It's like, guess what? It puts everything into perspective, really. It's like,
It does. It is a good. Yeah, it's a good perspective.
yeah, like if the worst thing happens that I die, then anything that isn't death is a bonus.
Yeah, I wouldn't say bonus.
Yeah, you're not a bonus, but
Yeah,
it's
I wouldn't say bonus. I would say,
better than death.
oh yeah, it is obviously.
Hmm.
I would view it differently though. How does that answer what you are scared of losing?
Life.
Are you scared of losing life?
Oh, it's in here. May as well just let it play out. This is the Tiramisu BTS.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, because this is the timeline of the episode from last
okay.
time.
Okay.
That was the weirdest thing. I'm thinking, why have I got the American
I know.
national anthem at a young 7:26 in the morning?
That very serves you narrative.
Yeah, it
You know
serves
how
my
you got
morning
shot
routine.
last.
Yeah.
Now the Americans are after.
I got shot last episode, so if you haven't seen that episode, make sure you see me getting shot. Justified return on your investment.
Can we overlay the clip or not?
Oh, yeah, wait. We can overlay the clip, just make sure I know. Overlay the clip, Nick.
Yep.
Actually, it'll probably be Harry editing this one. Harry, please overlay the clip. Yeah.
You say you're scared of losing life?
No, not scared of losing life.
No, but how does that answer the question? If nothing means anything,
What are you afraid of losing
what are you afraid of losing?
when nothing in the world actually belongs to you?
Yeah.
So if I don't think that my life belongs to me, then why am I afraid of losing it?
Yeah, I would agree. I don't think that's a bigger thing. Aren't you scared of losing people close to you?
Yeah, I would say it's like if there was a hierarchy, it would be that above myself.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
But also, then there's the argument that it's selfish to, like, have you go out before everyone else because then you left them to suffer.
Yeah.
But then it's like, then this is where it's like trickier. It's easier for religious people to answer this question because it's like, oh well, there's heaven. Whereas someone in this situation who's probably atheist would say, I'll just die, or they could just die because they don't have to ever live with the pain ever again.
Yes.
You get what I mean by that?
Yep. I get what you
So
mean.
it's almost easier for a religious person to answer that question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say, what about, are you scared of losing your purpose?
Oh, that's a good point. So I've thought about that before in terms of like, what if what I deem to be my, I wouldn't say I really have like a purpose in terms of like direct. It's like, this is what I believe I should and can do.
Yes.
If that's actually my purpose or not, I wouldn't say I know it.
Okay, what about your avenue for, SCULPTED?
Yeah.
If you lost that, your avenue for your purpose.
Okay, let me quickly go on the purposing a little bit.
Okay.
Before I go there, because that's a good question. Because I've had it's actually in the page where it talks about everyone who believes that they have a purpose is just convicted to believe something that's not true. We actually don't know our purpose. Other than to like procreate and
Yeah.
survive, everything outside of that purpose is manufactured. So
Yes.
I try not to get attached to any perception that I have of purpose, because it could be very wrong. The same purpose that I thought that I had when I was playing football may not be the same purpose that I actually pursue now.
I think that takes away from like your drive and how much you're able to work at a certain thing.
I would like to think it definitely doesn't, but I could see how it could. But it's like, I wonder how applicable that is. Like, I understand that thought pattern of, like,
Yeah.
could it?
I think so.
Maybe.
I think it does. There's a comedy set I should show you, and they talk about why all elite athletes are the most mentally unhealthy.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very true and very relevant because they talk about Michael Jordan,
Yeah.
and it's like Michael Jordan had a side hustle of basketball.
Yeah.
Or basketball was his hobby, and his job was revenge. Right?
It became personal with me.
Wow.
Mm.
And honestly, it's so true because it's like it was his avenue of like trying to satisfy some inner like demons or inner like gap he needed to fill.
Yeah.
And that probably drove him harder than if he had your perspective of. Do you see how when you speak, you're allowed to just speak and with no interruptions?
Remember that.
Remember that.
I'm so sorry.
That's why I can never land any points because they're always. I'm not a child. Put it down.
I'm so sorry.
What was I saying?
Michael Jordan.
Michael Jordan. But this comedian, he speaks about why all elite athletes are pretty much, if you've had an unhealthy childhood, you'll be a great elite athlete. So you could, if you're a parent, you've got two decisions. You could shower your kid in love and make them a healthy adult, or you could not and hope that they become an elite athlete.
Wow. That gives me hope.
Really? To what end?
Huh. Maybe it gives me an excuse.
Yeah. No, I actually. But I think it's the same with what you're saying. Is if you have that perspective that your purpose and you don't identify with like your pursuit, maybe it might take away in the short term, like that jet fuel that might like push you in one direction. But
Big upset there, well, by the way.
You're insecure.
One Direction.
See, this is the absolute tomfoolery I have to deal with. Oh, honestly.
Well.
I've tried to get back to my point about 17 times. Let's push something in. Yep, next topic.
No, you need to land.
I need to land.
Yeah.
Bad
childhood equals good athlete.
Yes. But see, imagine if Michael Jordan had that perspective that was like, oh, I don't know, it doesn't matter whether I'm like, my value as a person isn't on my pursuit. Do you reckon he'd be as successful as he was?
So you think because Michael Jordan believed that this was his purpose?
No, he didn't even believe. He like basketball was his avenue of trying to prove something else.
Oh, okay. Would you say then that's opposed to what I'm doing?
Yeah, because you've got an awareness about it.
So I should purposely become less aware.
No, I don't. Well, it depends what you're optimizing for. Do you want success like Michael Jordan?
No.
Yeah, I would agree. I would sacrifice amounts of success for a different process to that.
So am I doing it the right way then? From that definition of Michael Jordan doing it the wrong way, which also it's so difficult to quantify, like what I was saying with you like last night, in terms of what might work for Michael Jordan might not work for the next person.
But then again, work is like, then why do we talk about any of this stuff? Because then everyone's got free agency to live how they want, right?
This is just a self-awareness podcast, that's about it.
Pretty much.
We don't prescribe anything.
It's the blind leading the blind if we do prescribe anything.
Yeah. Although we can tell you about a bottom of funnel and top of funnel.
Oh yeah, what is it?
Tofu, bofu,
and mofu.
Yeah.
Tofu apparently very cheap in Germany.
Very cheap in Germany. I would recommend to all the German listeners out there. Weird amount of German listeners on this podcast.
Oh, seriously?
Yep.
High in protein.
No, it's high in German.
No, tofu.
Oh, so you sound like hi to the German listeners.
Someone's got to laugh.
Where were we? High in protein. Very high in protein.
That is not where we were at. It was Michael Jordan, whether his route to success was correct.
Yeah. I mean, it worked. But is that the success that you
It's-
want?
It's like Tim Grover, you know, when we read
Yeah.
Relentless, and I think I lived that and took it so seriously. Like, I think you maybe had a bit more of a perspective on it that was a bit healthier.
Interesting.
I had it very like David Goggins sort of head bashing against the wall, sort of cleaner,
Yeah.
relentless view on things.
Yeah.
And I've sort of learned that that is not worth the success that it gives, despite whatever level of success it.
Oh,
that
but
it
so
is.
you could still get the success, but you don't think that the repercussions of that success is fulfilling. to
Maybe
you.
you might not get as much success. I'm not too sure. That's what I'm trying to figure out now.
If you had a knee, you would be able to know.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then I'm trying to do that in psychology. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not trying to apply the same head bashing mentality of like pretty much like sacrificing everything and having football as my avenue to feel some inner like want to feel, I don't know, whatever. Yeah, and I don't think that's the right way to do it.
I had an interesting thought the other day in the urinal. Oddly descriptive. But it was, I've lost my thoughts.
You self-destruct now. At least it's equality. We're all about equality.
What was it? We were saying Michael Jordan.
Something about urinals.
Yeah, no.
The guy
before.
next to you in the urinal. The
Yeah.
guy behind.
What was it? It was talking about, what were we speaking about? Very, very
urinals.
No.
No, Michael Jordan.
About,
Hey, my football approach. Why it's not sustainable? Is success actually worth it? Is success actually that good? Do you want me to just keep talking and maybe it comes to mind?
I'm coming to mine in 20 minutes. Oh, it was a really good thought, if I don't say so myself.
See, that's how I feel, Nick, when you
No.
do the
Yeah, do that.
pretty much.
Oh, I don't remember where I was. It'll come back to me, hopefully. Yeah, it's on the,
Okay.
it's on my
It's on the
skull.
tip of the tongue.
Yeah, it'll come later. All right, next thing. Oh, did we land?
Did we solve that?
Yeah, I think so.
What are you scared of losing?
Yeah.
What's your answer?
Well, the only thing is from a selfless perspective, others, or me for them, almost.
I think any answer in this is selfish.
I would say so.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way that it's not going to be positively tuned to a specific bias, whether it's you, your family, or
Yeah.
etc.
If you had to live a normal life
Mhm.
where maybe you just did a 9 to 5 or you studied and then went to do a 9 to 5, so you're losing your, I don't know whether you say it ambition, because that's unfair to say that those people aren't ambitious, but your sort of,
conviction to do what I'm doing now.
yeah. Would that affect you?
I don't know what it's like to be in that situation, but knowing me, I'd probably rationalize it to fit the narrative. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's like, I'm just meant for 9 to 5. But I just know nothing else but
Yeah.
that. Whereas right now, I have the exact opposite train of thought. Just like I had the exact opposite train of thought of, oh, I'm just meant for football. And then, 2 months later, I'm like, maybe I was just never meant for football.
The way you can shift narratives is very, yeah,
Impressive.
I admire it.
It took a while.
Did
took a
it?
while. Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah,
It used to be negatively tuned, probably,
yeah.
I'd say. But yeah, no, it's taking its time.
Because I think a lot of people, their narratives are very weak, so that any good evidence to suggest that I'm capable, they have to try find a lot of evidence to suggest that. Whereas
I'll look for confirmation bias.
Whereas bad evidence, people usually are like, oh, there's that one example. That's my narrative.
Yeah.
Whereas I think you're very good in cognizantly shaping your narrative.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Yeah.
But I'm aware of me, like, manufacturing it. That's the thing.
No, but then again, you can try and manufacture it, but actually applying it is something different, I think.
It's true. But again, I would also say that's only become really, really, like, fine-tuned in the past, maybe even year, really.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Since you've had to shift away from football.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yep.
That's an interesting point. I would say that, yeah, not playing football anymore gave me a really interesting perspective of how, like, all of the attributes but none of the proof in football.
Yes.
It's like I put so much time and effort into football that it made me such a good person in terms.
Again, the APM is high. He wants to work on his whoop recovery.
I shouldn't have even
Scoop recovery.
Yeah, it's good. I shouldn't have even stopped because now it actually sounds like I was saying that. I'm saying in terms of a very well developed person in comparison to if I was to put that time into video games, for example.
Correct.
Or something that didn't have as high of an ROI because I was putting myself in very uncomfortable situations, moving across the world by myself. Just
ROI, always business.
is, yeah. And this is top of funnel, so
Yeah,
tofu.
tofu.
So I would say that it really taught me a lot of things by doing extremely stupid and difficult things. And that then I realized is so transferable and applicable with a much higher ROI in other areas of life. It's like the airport and water one. It's like, know your worth. Water is worth $7 at an airport, but $2.50 at Mackey's.
Yeah.
And the same type of thing with that.
I agree. And maybe your narrative, or even our narrative to a certain extent, has had to develop because in football it is one singular vertical. So your narrative only has to fit that.
Yeah.
Whereas now, when it's like almost deciding what way you want to go, business is a bit more of a holistic life perspective.
Sometimes. It can be pretty tough. Yeah.
I would think, I don't mean it's not tough. I mean it's more, you need to have more awareness. Football is very tunnel vision.
Yeah. Yeah, there is a degree of... I think it's because you're in a bigger team when it comes to business. Football, you can have conflict within a team and still have a very good team. It doesn't necessarily matter how well you get along with them.
Yeah.
It's how well you can pass the football to them.
Yeah.
And if you understand where they're moving next...
Even though it's a team sport, it's very self-centered.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And that's probably something that we both learned is like all of the people who we probably played football with, we don't have to get along with them. And that's actually a very common misconception that a lot of people have is that people think that professional football is you're just playing with your friends. Reality is maybe 2 people in that team are actually really close.
Yeah. It would be nicer if it was with your friends, wouldn't it?
Well, then it wouldn't be professional.
Maybe not. But it is weird. You do spend a lot of time with those people, and then in that time you become really close with them. Like for one, because shared experience,
Yeah, shared
like
experience.
we've said. And then after it, you'd be lucky to talk to them once a year.
There's only one guy who I keep in contact with from Bayreuth.
From where?
Bayreuth, the team that I played in Germany for.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah. And we just knew each other from LinkedIn in the first place.
Yeah.
And then we'd like, he sends me a message every few months like, have you got any contacts in Dubai?
Seriously?
Yeah. Because he knows that I've just got contacts. And yeah, I'm like,
It is true though. Once you don't have that shared experience with them,
yeah.
yeah.
And the thing is I reckon outside of a football team, I probably would have been close friends with him.
Yeah.
It's just that's just what it's like in football.
No, it is actually really true. There's
Yeah.
a lot of people I've met through football that I think, oh, they're actually good people. We could be mates. But
Yeah.
just because it is football, it's like, well, you have no excuse to see them anymore.
Yeah. It's a bit weird.
Yeah.
You've got, obviously, I don't know if we can say their name, but rhymes with Pova.
Yeah.
Were you friends with him outside of football?
And
And the Crickets?
the Crickets. We met through football, but that
Yeah.
was at a young age.
It's a little bit long.
It's very. I'm just ignoring
Yes.
them at this point. I've got headphones for them, noise cancelling, sound cancelling headphones.
Good.
I met him through football, but because I think we've had a lot of shared experiences, and it has, we've got to know each other's characters because we've shared a lot of experiences and sort of seen the highs and lows of it, and then kept in touch through that.
Yeah.
As opposed to just being like, we shared one season and then we played again together.
Yeah.
But you're right. It's like, even though we're mates outside of football, it's different. You have to put the effort in to really like develop it more than a football relationship.
He's a good guy as well.
He is a really good guy.
Yeah.
Really, really good
Big
guy.
up Soap as well. Can we say his name?
Yeah, why not?
You say it.
Oh well, it doesn't even matter anymore.
Just
does
in
it?
case he's listening.
Just in case.
Yeah, just so he feels like he's valued around here.
No, he is valued. Remember when your mum had a chat with him?
I do.
Yeah.
And he remembers it. Which
He
is
remembers it too.
up to your mum.
Yeah.
Good guy.
Yeah.
Actually, when you were at Sutherland for a few weeks, was he also at Sutherland at that time?
No.
Where was he?
He'd quit by then.
Crazy. Okay. Whereabouts? We can't.
What?
I was about to say, whereabouts does he live? Not on this podcast. All right. I think we've landed. Let's go.
God, we digested there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even for a bad bowel, I digested well there.
Some of the best we've digested in a long time.
Yeah. If only I could really digest like that.
All right. Funny moments. Oh.
Are you burning up, by the way, as well?
Yeah, really, really burning up.
Yeah. It is warm.
It's warm. Okay. When I was
Oh, okay.
in Budapest, right?
Yeah.
And I've told this story on the podcast before, but for anyone who hasn't heard of it, long story short, when I just landed in Budapest, this is just after surgery and whatnot, my immune system was shot to bits, and staying in a youth hostel because we had no money, and my boss wasn't paying me and everything like that. He was being quite a, I wouldn't say prick, but prick's a great word.
Yep.
And he just wasn't paying me, wasn't replying to my messages. He knew that I'd just moved overseas, and yeah, he just wasn't paying me, even though I was still working for him. And essentially, whilst I'm in Budapest, I was getting the cheapest of cheap food, as I was always doing when I was in the EU, because again, we had no money. But then, in the kitchen in the youth hostel, and it's like a shared kitchen, great youth hostel, by the way, thoroughly recommend. Right on the Danube, Meininger, one of the best youth hostels in Europe. They're everywhere. And that was a free brand deal.
That's all right.
Don't go there, guys.
No. It's good to endorse.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyways. Youth hostel, I'm cooking my food, and I don't know if you know the smell of just salmonella,
Okay.
but I could just smell salmonella. And
Is it one of those things that when it hits you, it's like, oh, that's salmonella?
Yeah, it hits you in the back of your throat, and it goes up through your nasal cavity, and all of a sudden you can breathe fresh air, but then it's like 10 minutes, 20 minutes later, then you're like, I can feel a little bit sniffly. And it's like the most lustful and beautiful sensation through your nasal passageway.
Is it?
Yeah, it's for 10 minutes. And it's like, I can breathe again. The roses, they smell so beautiful. And then,
And you're talking about salmonella here.
yes.
Okay.
And then, boom. Oh, I feel sick all of a sudden. And I actually did a podcast episode with someone this day. Nick van der Velden, professional footballer from the Eredivisie. He used to play at one of them. He used to play at Ajax.
Yeah.
Anyways, great guy. Friend of the pod, literally. Hope
Yeah.
as well. And I remember feeling so sniffly in this podcast, thinking, I wonder why I'm sick. And then
I'm sure you don't get sniffly from salmonella. You don't.
my body was already compromised, right? So I'd already,
Mm.
anything for me was like 10 times worse. So I then get a little bit more sniffly, and then throughout the night, oh, and also the reason why I got the salmonella, right? I was
You didn't cook the chicken.
I was chucking the beef patties just in the microwave instead of cooking them on the stove.
Is that do you get salmonella from beef as well?
Well, I think
Undercooked beef?
you can, I believe, but it's like much harder to, but also,
Alfio, could we fact check
Yeah,
that, please? While he does that,
yeah,
could
well,
carry on.
yeah. Banter. Then I was cooking up these meat patties literally just in the microwave, and I don't know if it was from the beef patties specifically. It could have been just other people also using the kitchen, and
That probably like cross contamination.
yeah, exactly,
Yes.
because there's definitely no hygiene in there.
Probably not.
And I was just chucking my beef patty. I also finished about a kilogram bag of beef patties in a day, and it was disgusting. Oh, it makes me crawl. It's the
Wow.
most disgusting mince. It's definitely brain. Like, I remember that I ate like a... Oh, it makes me gag. I remember... like...
Okay, let's move on if it's that painful.
Wait.
I don't think that's necessary for the story, is it?
No, wait. I remember like... Or...
Can you not? Can we move on?
there was a speck of like bone or something hard.
Good calcium. Nice. Move on.
And I remember just going like, what the frig is that? And oh, it was disgusting. Anyway, I finished my bag and then
Finished your bag.
keep going.
Then also finished the beef patties.
And then and yeah, finished that and then I do the podcast and then at night time, I wake up in the middle of the night and just head sore. I'm like, what is going on? I couldn't really get to sleep either throughout the night. And it just was so quick. And I'm there and I wake up at like 2 a.m. I stand up, go to the bathroom, and at this point I'm like, whoa, hello. Doing the wobbles.
Yeah.
And then after I finish in the bathroom and I go back to bed, I pass out from the bathroom to the bed, like bunker. And it was like literally like 2 meters away. And I just dropped straight on the ground. 2 a.m. in the morning with shared room. Thankfully, it was shared. Like, it would have been bad if I was in a hotel. So thankfully, I was poor. But also, if I was poor, I probably wouldn't have had the food poisoning. So
Probably.
I then go pass out and I'm just sweating on the ground. There's just, like a chalk outline.
Yeah.
Dead people. I had a sweat outline. And I'm there gasping for air. And I'm like, help me! And I'm...
Seriously?
Yeah, that was me dying. Borderline.
Wow.
And
That's really bad.
it was bad. And then everyone in my room was like, oh, what is happening? What's happening? Is the kid alright? And then I'm like,
Were you friendly with any of them or not?
I hadn't said a single word to any of them until this point.
Oh, wow.
I didn't even know if they spoke English.
You know what is worse than being sick like that?
Speaking to people you don't know.
No.
Oh.
No. Being alone and being sick like that.
Yeah, that was pretty
That
treacherous.
can't be the most comforting thing ever.
What's your lowest moment? Possibly that.
And how did you, what happened?
So they got like a few people from the hostel to come up to me and like, it was really awkward. They like had to like pick me up and I was just there slob, all sweaty. Thankfully like a young
Did you
guy.
feel terrible?
I felt terrible, yeah. And then they basically just put me back to bed. Like, oh, you'll be better. They thought that I was either drunk or drunk. That's probably the typical situation that they have in the hostel. And I was trying to explain, no drugs, no alcohol.
As you sound like you're on drugs
drunk,
and
yeah.
alcohol. Yeah.
They definitely believed me.
Yeah.
But they also knew I was a footballer. That was the thing. So the guy who got me, I'd had a conversation with earlier that day. And I was explaining what I was doing and everything like that. And he was like from Italy. And he probably was thinking, professional footballer, doing this, leave. Like,
Yeah.
not here. And then the same thing happens like 2 hours later. I go up to the bathroom again and I'm doing the vomit spits. You know the vomit spits? When you just get that cloudy spunk.
Yeah, I know it.
Yeah.
Moving on. Yeah.
So I'm
doing that.
I'm then spitting every 3 seconds because it's like I can just feel the vomit coming. And I don't vomit.
Yep.
I don't
Can we
vomit.
move on?
I've got a phobia of vomiting.
Me too.
Yeah.
Yep.
So does Alfia. So
Good. That's a common thing in the sculpted.
yeah. Maybe
Business.
Charles just loves vomiting.
No. I think that's our non-negotiable now. Part of the
vomiting?
criteria.
Yeah. If
Yeah.
you want to work with us, it's a no to vomiting.
Yep. I agree.
On the ballot paper, vomiting?
No.
No. Never.
Big no.
Big no.
Big no. Okay.
And then, yeah, feel like vomiting again, and then I'm doing the pass out thing again, and they're like, oh, here he goes again. Mr. Dramatic. And then throughout the day, I'm like, I'm dead. And it gets really, really worse, really, really worse. And then my mum's like, why don't you just go to the hospital? And I'm like, Mum, if you saw the hospitals, you wouldn't go there.
Seriously.
Let me get it out.
I thought this was supposed to be a funny story. I'm distressed.
Imagine how I was. Cool. Computer died.
Pity party again. I don't think it has.
Oh, no, no. All right.
Or it's overheated, has it?
Yeah, there's probably a few things that I'm overheating right now, and I'm one of them.
Me too. It's so hot.
It is so hot. Okay. I'll show you on here. Look at this. That's not a joke.
Looks like a prison.
Well, it looks like a abandoned.
You know when they conduct experiments in like horror movies on kids?
No.
Or like they have people in labs?
Labs, yeah. Frankenstein type.
A little bit.
Heartbeat, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
It's treacherous. And I saw one of these hotels. I saw one of these hospitals.
Yeah.
And I was walking to it to a shopping centre about 20 kilometres out from the city
Yeah.
because I couldn't afford public transport. And I was meeting a football coach there actually at the shopping centre. And I saw the hospital. And I saw someone walk in, walking perfectly fine. And then on my way back from the shopping centre, I see him walk out with one leg.
Was he, not to be a bit inhumane, but was he walking or was he limping when he's only got one leg?
Oh, he was on crutches.
Yeah, but maybe that was maybe he had a bad infection. What if it saved his
He
life?
was walking on 2 legs.
Yeah. What happens if he had an infection that was making its way through his heart?
Fair play.
Yeah.
It's just not a good look.
So for your little fever,
Yeah. Fever.
for your little fever, they would have chopped off both your legs
Possibly and arms.
and
Yeah. So I was.
I'd happily carry you.
You don't get that privilege.
I don't get that privilege. Imagine. I'd be like merely a donkey, Nick, as I'm carrying
And then
you,
you could
with
kick
no, as you've got no limb to kick you. If I didn't have arthritis, I would.
Oh well, that could have made us a nice little sculpted podcast duo. I'm here with no legs and arms, and you're
No.
there with no knees.
No knee.
What would you take? No
What?
arms or legs or no knee?
Count
Count your privilege.
No knee. Yeah, exactly. Count your privileges.
Sure.
Was that a funny story?
It's just a crazy moment.
Are you sure that's a funny story?
I don't know if it was funny stories. I think it was just moments or something. Or was it? Yeah, it's moments.
Oh, moment.
Moments.
I think you've got your torch on.
It's embarrassing.
That is embarrassing.
Thanks for that. Okay.
Thanks for that.
Also, we're mocking each other now.
Yeah, that's low hanging fruit. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's all good. There's a few things in here. Have you got? I could give a boss man updates.
Boss man update.
Yeah, I sent you a message about boss man the other day.
Yeah.
You want to give a boss man update?
Give a boss man update.
Okay, so at near my work, we've got a petrol station that I typically go to, where boss man's there, and I don't conversate with boss man
Yeah.
because I've only got 10 minutes, and it takes me 5 minutes to walk there and back. So it's just a morning boss man, and then leave.
Is that what you say to him?
I don't say anything. I don't have the confidence to say that.
Okay.
And then, yeah, I just do my little banana bread with a little coffee to go. Thanks, just these two, thanks. $4, you wish. $2, no tip. And then... and then that's it. That's all we do. But he's boss man. He's boss man. And we have that cute little relationship. Nothing more, nothing less. I'm there to get my stuff and leave. I don't want to conversate.
Yep.
Because I don't have the luxury of time.
Yep.
And I cheated on my boss man.
You cheated on him.
Yeah, I went to the local Coles down here and got the same deal. And I complimented him on his banana bread. But I'll be 100% honest, that banana bread there sucks. He's got the best banana bread in the country.
Who? At a petrol station?
Yeah, my boss man.
I'm not too sure if he's baking the banana bread when he's working at the petrol station.
I'd like to believe he is.
Okay. Remember, you know how we manipulated the narrative before? That's, again, convenient.
Yeah, and I'd say that it just helps me live a nicer life. Because you know how I was saying I look at everyone as a specific thing? I also know that he definitely is.
Oh, no, you would be.
Yeah.
That's why he's working at a petrol station.
Yeah, and that's where I can live safely knowing that. And I've got a level of sanctity knowing that.
Okay.
Long story
So
short.
it's pure banana bread is what you're saying.
It's the purest of banana bread.
The purest of banana
No,
bread.
it's the purest.
The purest of banana bread.
Keep
Okay, moving on.
The purest of banana bread. And it's great. It's nice and soft and mushy and it's big. It's really big. It's like that big. It's a loaf. Like it's not a little small one like that. And I had the audacity to go cheat on him and say to the other boss man, whose banana bread sucked. It was horrible. It was like the small little Coles packets. It's a shell. It's a shell service station that I go to in the beaches, but they don't sell like Coles stuff. It's like they'll probably like a family-run petrol station just got bought out by Shell. And I was like, this is the best banana bread in the country, quite frankly.
You said that to...
No, I wouldn't say that. I don't conversate. But
Converse, not conversate.
converse. I don't converse like that. But it's a little known fact within the community that, best banana bread ever.
Okay.
And I always go from the back because that's where the biggest pieces are. So I cheated on boss man. And I didn't, it was such a petty cheat as well. Because he did nothing wrong to me. And then I felt like insulting.
Why did you cheat on him then?
I'll tell you why. It was because I was with someone at the time, and I was just being
You were
like,
trying to impress them.
yeah, social confidence.
Okay.
I live for it.
Me too.
It's like at the zoo when I was like, acting like I was, American. I wouldn't do that by myself.
You wouldn't?
Maybe.
I imagine you just going to a random shop and being like, today I'm going to put on this accent. And then
It's tempting.
getting your little like fix out of that.
My Jeffrey Dahmer fix.
Yeah.
Just knowing.
Some people turn to drugs. Nick turns to an accent while he's ordering his coffee.
And some vices are better than others.
Yeah.
And I'd say
pick
that-
your poison.
Yeah, pick your poison.
Pick your poison.
As Chris Williamson said, actually, which was what you can maybe speak about next.
I can't believe we've gone from talking about some banana bread with Boss Man to
Your hero.
my hero and something actually intellectual. That's gonna be fun. Yeah. What were you saying?
I forgot.
Chris Williamson.
Yep, I don't know what he said there.
Something about him. We're gonna speak about him next episode anyway.
I've already forgot about what he said.
Do you want me to caviar into something completely different? But I thought is actually
Make sure you
interesting?
like and subscribe.
I don't know if they're more inclined to do that now. That's gotten them out of the funnel completely. Not top, bottom, or middle.
Go food.
That's ejected the funnel. You were saying yesterday, but because we're talking about recovery and whoop and sleep and everything, you've been in the green for. Can we say whoop?
Yeah.
We may as well. You've had really good recovery recently, and you said a certain change has helped.
Yeah.
Explain that. Why? Is it applicable to other people?
Okay. So over the past 2 weeks or so, I had a mindset shift where I was like, you know what? You don't need sleep. And I went from a humble 8 hours to now filter feeding, so that I don't need any food throughout the day, and no sleep. And I've been the most productive I've ever been. So essentially,
Okay, before I brought this up, I thought it would actually be normal sort of professional athlete sort of advice, not never eat and never sleep and somehow you become productive.
Okay, I'll land. Okay. Intermittent fasting. It's a game changer. For me personally, at least. Not eating.
But weren't you always doing that?
There was a time where I wasn't, when I was putting on more muscle, I wasn't doing it. I was doing it maybe a little bit less.
What do you mean less? Less often?
A longer fasting window. Sorry, a shorter fasting window where it was really only I just stopped eating 3-4 hours before bed.
Okay.
So pretty normal to be fair. But that means finish eating at around 4 p.m.
Yep.
So my intermittent fasting, I always knew that intermittent fasting boosted my recovery massively. When I was in Germany and I started to do that, I was the most alive I'd ever been.
And what's your fasting window?
4 hours. So I'd eat at 6 a.m. and
Oh, your
10
eating
a.m.
window's 4 hours.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay.
So that was also really extreme. It's just that's how it fit my schedule the best.
Yes.
So I'd basically eat before training, get home and eat lunch and then not eat again. And it was just really convenient for me. Save time, eat all my calories in 2 meals, and also get really lean. I was at 13, 14% of the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was the leanest I'd ever been. That was game changer for me. Green.
Really?
Every single day, without failure.
And that's been what you've been doing recently
Yeah.
too?
And my whip's actually been dead for the past 3 days, unfortunately. I've got to bring my charger to Sydney. But if I was to show you, green. Sleep is so much better. REM is so much better. Everything's so much better. HRV goes up to 100 and plus. Resting heart rate. That's when my...
So when do you eat? What hours?
Right now, I have a 6-hour fasting window. So it's whenever I wake up to 6 hours after, essentially. Yesterday was an exception, though, because yesterday I didn't eat in the morning and whatnot.
Okay, so you eat in the first 6 hours of your day?
Yeah,
And
always.
then don't eat from then?
Yeah.
Wow.
You do the opposite.
Not... Yeah, I wouldn't say that. I'd say my first meal is usually midday.
Yeah, okay.
And then I go till 6:30. I try and have an early dinner, but sometimes schedule can't.
See, you do have a very similar fasting window to me.
Yeah.
But you don't say that you're fasting. You just say that you skip breakfast.
Yeah. Because I don't think I'd cognizantly fast though. I just find that I'm more productive and I feel better in the mornings if I don't eat.
So you just because it's fast. That's because you're fasting.
Yeah.
I am a machine when I fast. Like the other day when I did the spreadsheet for 6 hours and I didn't even realize the 6 hour had passed. It's because I was fasting. I was just
I don't think it's just because you're fasting. I swear, I don't think Einstein, when he was at the height of his powers, was like, it's because I'm fasting.
powers is an interesting word to describe with Einstein.
Why?
Height of his powers. He wasn't influential like that.
No, but you know what I mean.
Height of his
Height of his cognitive powers.
Okay. Not yeah. Einstein and I we don't converse as much as we used to, but that never came up in the conversation. So
But it's interesting for recovery though.
I find it interesting that you haven't necessarily found a correlation between fasting and your recovery.
I don't, because I don't sleep enough. That's the problem.
Possibly.
I don't sleep enough.
Oh, but now that you're sleeping, it's not great.
Maybe that's because I overstrain.
Don't worry.
Now that I overstrain, I think that's why my recovery's lower.
Yeah, okay.
A little bit. But I think if I was to actually sleep an adequate amount every day, there wouldn't be any reason why my recovery should be bad.
Yeah.
But it's just like when things get busy. Yeah, when things get busy, I struggle to get adequate amount of sleep.
It is difficult to get enough sleep in summer, I'd say.
But it's so important. It's
yeah,
like how I felt differently, even just getting 7 hours recently, is ridiculous.
Yeah, you've been getting good sleep recently.
Ridiculous.
You know, it'd be funny if this camera wasn't recording.
Have you not checked?
No. We could even wrap it up soon.
Yeah, I don't think there's much more to speak about, is there?
Not really. We kind of got it through everything.
It would be nice to get out of this sun for like a hot second.
It goes up and then we'll be all right at like 8:30. It is very hot today.
Very warm.
But to summarize the point, fasting really, really changed my recovery score. It changed my HRV. That's when my resting heart rate was 36 when I was fasting.
Is it not because you're just fit?
Yeah, but also it probably would have been under the 40s regardless, but the fasting got it to the 36.
Okay.
Like for like a month.
Yeah.
Straight. Just the whole of like
It's funny how your body responds and you can notice a difference so much.
well, yeah,
if you didn't have Whoop, do you think you'd still be able to notice the difference?
I think I'd be able to notice a difference, but it wouldn't be as like positively tuned to be it's a massive difference.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is it's just a biometric awareness. Because like how do you actually quantify your biometric anything?
Yeah.
Your data. You can't really do that without a wearable device.
Yeah.
So that was really helpful. And yeah, I mean, I think that was massive for me when I was overseas. And it made me feel so much better. I was having really good ideas constantly, if I don't say so myself. And
the APM has been high this episode.
Yeah, it's radiating.
It's radiating.
Might have to get a bit of higher roof.
Yeah.
Because it's like a really dense
to
gas.
fit your head. Oh, what?
That's crazy. I was just saying because like the radiation's like a really dense gas. And it's like if there's too much of it in this.
You are quite dense, I agree.
So thank you so much, guys, for listening to this episode of the podcast. Make sure you do the normal stuff as always. Obviously, like this episode, follow us on Instagram, follow us on TikTok. I don't know if we condone that actually. I guess we do. Yeah, follow us on TikTok.
Yeah, why not?
Just because it's like a doctor prescribing sugar to a patient.
No, our sugar's good on TikTok.
Yeah, our sugar's good. So make sure you follow us on TikTok. And
Yep.
do all that stuff. Subscribe to this channel, subscribe to the clips, subscribe to the BTS, all of that stuff. Download the SCULPTED app. It's now in the beta version of the app. Over the coming months, we've got some very exciting stuff. Big things coming soon. And yeah, make sure you put your money where your mouth is.
And so, do we do a recap of what we've learned or not? That's dead. We've quickly learned how to intermittent fast, how to deal with salmonella if you get it in a hostel in Budapest.
Don't go to the hospital.
We've spoken about manipulating narratives.
Yep.
Wow, but we've covered a wide range of.
There's one more thing.
Marcus Aurelius's.
What are
you scared of losing?
Life. Yeah. What are you scared of losing when nothing belongs to you?
this podcast, I'd be scared of losing it if I was a listener.
Preach. And that's why these listeners are some of the best listeners in the world.
Yeah, I don't think they appreciate your finger pointing at them, to be honest with you. Yeah.
Pointing that way. Well,
You're just a leader like that. Okay.